Hey there everyone, Captain Beards here, bringing you another Langrisser mobile video. Let's get it. Alright guys, so as you can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be a character guide on your boy BERNHARDT. Now, I've been meaning to do this guy for a while, but I haven't gotten to him, and I didn't get to him in my old channel. He's an absolute monster. This dude is he's an absolute beast. And if you don't have Elwyn, then he makes a very solid replacement for Elwyn when it comes to the Empire Honors Team red units. Now, mine's is not extremely powerful. He's at 2,500, but I have been working him a little bit, and I have been looking at his kit a lot more. So hopefully this guide can help you. And if you guys are building him in any other fashion, in any other way, please comment down below and let me know, because I would really like to hear how you guys are building the boy BERNHARDT. Now, my previous video was my juggler video. His outfit is so freaking cool. My previous video was my juggler video. It was much longer than I wanted it to be, but that unit was so complicated. I feel like this guy's a lot more straightforward, so I should be able to beam this out pretty quickly. Alright guys, so let's get into your boy BERNHARDT. Alright, so this guy is the Emperor of the Empire Honors Team slash Dark Reincarnation team. So solid team here. They're both extremely well built teams. Dark Reincarnation is different for him, just because you might want to build him a little bit differently. You might want to put on different skill sets when running in this team, since this is your AoE team. So you're definitely going to want to run his AoE move. But the Empire Honors team, he has a little bit more wiggle room. There's just a lot you can do with him, especially if you have a lot of units. One in particular unit is going to be Vargas, which is going to come into play on how I built my BERNHARDT. So going into the upgrade class section here. Now, I didn't waste any runes on this guy, but you easily could. He's one unit that if you're going to put some runes into, he can easily be put runes into. Now, I went for the straightforward path, which is the Emperor. The reason why I went that path is to pick up his fusion power. Of course, attack and defense increase, and then damage increases by 20% when battling against units over which you have class priority. So that means if you're a red and you're fighting a blue, you're not going to get that 20% increase. But if you're a red and you're fighting a green, you're going to get 20% increased damage. This is extremely good. So map knowledge and map awareness when running his fusion power is clutch, and I mean freaking clutch. If you use Imperial's power and then you have your Leon hit a red unit, that unit is going to freaking die. That's like almost a guarantee, just because of how powerful that 20% really is. So be mindful of that. And then he's got Rupture, which is pretty cool because when attacking, deals additional fixed damage to enemy after battle. Damage is 2 times the hero's attack. So if you build this guy attack, and you have Rupture on, you're going to deal that extra 2 times damage right after battle. So very powerful in itself. So if you didn't want to waste no runes on this guy, just go for a straightforward path for the Emperor. Now, if you do not have Vargas, then you have a little bit more wiggle room. If you don't have Vargas, but you have Leon and you're running Leon's fusion power, because Leon's fusion power is really good. A lot of people say it's not, but I feel like it's really good. Then you could take him down the Brave path. Now, the Brave path is going to be his tank path. He becomes a red tank unit in this path. Now, yes, he's still going to have some attacks. He's still going to have some moves here, but he's going to be built like a tank when you're running this path. So he's just going to jump in front of shots. You're going to put him in there. He's just going to soak up the damage. This is what the path is for. Now, if you did want to run one rune just to give him a little bit more offensive in his Emperor's style here, then you could go ahead and go to the Gladiator and just pick up this first move here, which is Shield Bash. This move is really good. Attacks a single enemy, dealing 1 times damage. Now, that's not a lot, but it's the second thing. Before entering battle, stuns enemy for 1 turn. So that means, guys, if you have him and you're in PvP and you're about to fight and you see a Leon on the other side and that Leon's really powerful, and you know it might take a couple turns to take him down, you have your BERNHARDT here running there, Shield Bash. He's probably going to die, but you know the Leon is stunned for 1 turn. So that's actually really good. So if you did want to waste one rune on this guy, at least go pick up Shield Bash. Now his other classes here, like I said, it's all really for that tankiness, just sitting in front of your enemies and stuff. Like this, take physical attack instead of nearby friendly units. When attacked, add 7% of attack to defense, so that's just weakening his attack but increasing his defense. Same thing here, heavy shield, blah blah blah. So if you want to play a tank, if you want to play defensive and you do not have Vargas, then go ahead and pick up Brave, because that will be very clutch for you. Now in this case, I do have Vargas and I don't really care about having him being a tank. I want attack, 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 so I went straight for that Emperor state. Okay, so let's go into his talent here. So his talent is pretty nice because of that first little sentence right there. When entering battle, damage increases by 10%. So instantly he gets 10% increase in damage, which is always really nice to see. And then all enemies within 2 blocks have attack and defense decrease by 5%. So if you can get him in the middle of enemies, like around surrounded by enemies, that means their attack and defense is going to decrease, which is really nice. So one thing to do with this guy is actually move him first and then move your other units. Reason being is because if you can move him first, get him close to an enemy, he's going to chop down their attack and defense, and then you can have your Leon or your Elwyn, or let's see who else we got, or your Sephiroth here, even your Vargas and your Varna, Sonya. These units, you can have them go ahead and pick off the units just because their defense is decreased. Now 5% isn't a lot, but that does make a huge difference. Now into the skills I chose here. Now as you can see, he has a lot of skills, and the 3 I went with, I'm still thinking about. I'm not too sure if that's how I'm going to run him. Now you got Sunshade here. When entering battle with a melee attack, after battle, obviously you're going to enter with a melee attack because he's a melee unit. After battle, 30% chance to restore HP, 30% of damage dealt in battle. So that means if you have him built at very high attack and Sunshade kicks off, you're going to get a lot of health back just because that's 30% of your damage dealt. So I've seen a lot of people say get rid of Sunshade just because it does not proc a lot, and I do wish that they would increase that to a 50% chance just because his kit being so weird. So that is one thing to understand, is that's RNG right there, guys. And in PvP, you really want to avoid RNG as much as possible. In PvE, it's not so much a big deal, but PvP, try to avoid the RNG as much as possible. So replacing Sunshade with another one, even this one, passive. This is a passive, by the way, so just like Sunshade is a passive, so you don't have to activate them. Dispels one enemy buff, decreases enemy defense by 20%, lasts 1 turn. So that's when attacked, so that's more like a tankishness 2. So when he gets attacked, he's going to strip a buff off of an enemy, and he's going to decrease that enemy's defense. So that's really nice too, but like I said, that's if you're playing tankish. I'm not going to be playing tankish, I'm going to be playing very aggressive. That's why I went with Sunshade. He does have Sword Dance here. Sword Dance, not too bad. This is an attack move here. Deals AoE damage to all nearby enemies. Afflicted enemies cannot be healed. So if you see enemies on the opposite team and they're running double healers, then you can actually move him in, hit Sword Dance. They can't heal for 1 turn, and that's going to make it easier for you to chop them down. Now I am running his fusion power. Like I said, with the fusion power, you're definitely going to want to be aware of the units you're fighting, so that way you can set up your units correctly. Because if you just throw this fusion power on and just throw your units in the battle, it's going to go very bad for you, trust me on that. And then his other move, which is his final move in the Emperor state, can't say the word, which is Rupture. It's a passive. It's pretty cool because it has a 1 cost. When attacking, deals additional fixed damage to the enemy after battle, which is really nice because damage equals 2 times hero's attack. So build him attack, 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 and you're going to see Rupture do a lot of damage. Beautiful. Now you can go after some other skills, like I said, if you want to invest some runes. Heavy shield is not too bad when attacked. Parry's not too bad either if you're building him that tankish role. But like I said, if you did want to waste only 1 rune, pick up Shield Bash. It does have a 2 cost, so you can get rid of Sunshade. So that's the one thing I'll recommend. Pick up Shield Bash and then go ahead and get rid of Sunshade. Put on Shield Bash, put on his fusion power, keep on Rupture, and you're good to go. You're going to have a very strong offensive move that can stun. You're going to have a sick fusion power, and then Rupture is a move that's going to do damage after that battle, which is really nice. Moving into the class, well, not really important here. Moving into the soldiers here. Now, as you can see, I am running the Dark Guard. Now, you could go with the Skeleton Knights. They're not too bad. When soldiers HP is 0, and when attacking, restores 15% HP. When attack, defense increases by 10%. These are really nice. Now, the one unit that I think is really solid on him, the Dark Guard is pretty good. But what I think is really, really good on him, and I'm very close to unlocking, I'm like literally right there to unlocking, is the Undead Knights. I was looking at the Undead Knights kits. Resurrection. When soldier HP is 0% and when attacking restores 15% HP. So just like the Undead Knights, not the Undead Knights, the Skeleton Knights there. When attacking units other than demons and holy units, attack increases by 10%. So setting this up really nicely here, if you go after units, or if you're in a mission and there's no demons or holy units, then you could throw these guys on and get that attacking increased by 10%. Which is very powerful, and it's just going to make his attack even more. And on top of that, Rupture is going to kick off, and Rupture is going to actually do more damage to the enemy too. So running the Undead Knights is one thing that I recommend highly, and I mean highly. Lava Knights, really good too. Very good. He'll end up being a green-red unit, which is really weird, but playing it right, you can be very tanky with these units themselves. Stone Colossus, not too bad. And all these other units are not too bad either, but like I said, my recommendations are Undead Knight, Lava Knight, and then the Dark Guard. I really like the Dark Guard because when attacking, which I'm always doing because like I said guys, with my Bernhardt, it's attack, attack, attack. When attacking, after battle, deals damage equal to 5% max HP to the enemy. So what that means is it's like having a second Rupture, but it's not as strong, if that makes any sense. And then restores 10% soldier HP. So by attacking, I'm going to kick off this, and it's going to be very nice, very, very powerful. Moving into the equipment here. Now, as you can see with the equipment, I went with the Frost Wren just because I'm going to get that attack plus 4%. And then when he attacks somebody, he gets there's a 30% chance to decrease their mobility, which is really nice because he wants to keep the enemy in place. Just keep him right there so he can butcher them. That's why I went with the Frost Wren and the sword attack plus 4%. Then we got Mirror Armor. Now I was looking at what I can build on him that will have him high attack but keep him in that kind of tankish role because I want him to be able to take some damage here. And Mirror Armor was the armor for me because HP and defense plus 2%. When attacked, deals fixed damage to the enemy. Damage equals 0.7% of hero's defense. Now, you're probably wondering like, so Beards, why do you have your sword has 13% attack and your armor has 6% defense? Well, that's just so that way the Mirror Armor can do a little bit more damage after battle. So that's like having another Rupture, guys, right? So I got Rupture, and I got the Rupture again for my soldiers, and then I'm gonna get Rupture again from my armor here. So beautiful after battle damage that this guy is going to kick off. Now moving into the helmet here, HP plus 4%. Nothing too crazy there. I couldn't, guys, I'm telling you, I threw about 20 full moons into this guy, and this helmet and this chest piece even laughed at all 20. It was ridiculous. This was the best stat I can get. So attack plus 2%. If I can get that up, guys, I will try my hardest to get that up. Wait a second. What is this? What are we looking at here? He's not even, the helmet's not even maxed out. There we go, that's better. Okay, so I went with this helmet because it's gonna just give me some HP because I want him to have a little bit more self-sustain. So HP plus 6%, and then trying to go after that attack stat there. Now for the accessory, I need to get a better one for him, but for now I'm just gonna keep this one on just because it does hold a very powerful set here, which attacks 6, but attack plus 5%. The int is absolute dog shit, and I wish I didn't have that, but who cares? Because I'm getting that attack plus 5%. Now magic defense, not too bad, but I wish I had something a lot better. Now for the enchantments I recommend, I went with Full Moon. Now I went with Full Moon because, well, I don't have Full Moon here. Yeah, there we go. I went with Full Moon because of that first two piece, which is attack and int plus 5%. Now when HP is above 80%, all offensive and defensive stats increase by 10%. If Sunshade procs off, you're going to see your 80% consistently stay, but one thing to do with this guy is make sure he's rolling with a healer so that way he can always stay above that 80% threshold. Now which ones do I recommend? I do recommend running Full Moon. Rough Sea is not too bad. If you're being very aggressive with this unit like I am, then Rough Sea is a very good one too. When attacking, attack increases by 10% and damage taken is reduced by 15%. Just do note that if you put on Rough Sea and he gets attacked, he's not going to have that 10% increase in that defensive stat that you can get from Full Moon. So it's a hand-in-hand thing, right? Sacrifice. So depending on how you want to roll with him, you could roll with that too. Let's see, Breeze here, damage dealt increases by 10% after taking action, 30% chance to increase mobility by 2. So this one's not too bad, especially since his mobility actually sucks ass. So throwing Breeze on, not too bad either. Just do note that getting that mobility plus 2 goes in your next turn. So it doesn't go right immediately as you attack, it's in your next turn. And I do not recommend throwing on Meteor or Blazing Sun just because he's not really a crit focused unit. He's more like an attack percentage unit. So recommendations: Rough Sea, Breeze, maybe, and definitely Full Moon here. Now if you are building him in the other state, which is the tank state, then things like Crystal, things like Hard Rock are your bread and butter, right? Definitely not Crystal, my bad, scratch the Crystal part. Things like Hard Rock and things like Ice, my bad guys. Right, so those are your bread and butter for his tankish state. Anyways guys, that was a mouthful, but I think it was a little bit faster than the juggler one. Let's get into the showcase with your guy.
2 hours later.
Alright guys, so we're in a time rift mission here, just showcasing. I don't want the showcase to be too long, so that's why I hopped in this mission here. Now, I am running BERNHARDT with the fusion power buff, so once he kicks this off, Leon is going to absolutely annihilate these 2 red units over here. And we do have our girl Liana here for the time again in the heals, just in case, because you never know. Some of these missions could get really tough. So now that the fusion power is kicked off, BERNHARDT is going to have type advantage, 20% extra damage against this green. And Leon is going to do absolute work on these red units here. So we are going to have again on BERNHARDT here. So that way he can go ahead and annihilate this green unit here. And let's see what he can do on some deeps. Extra 20% damage. Now I was hoping that would happen, that he didn't kill him, because then I want to see all these things kick off. We got Darkhorn, we got Rupture. Rupture 1800. So he crit for 9000 damage there. Then the Darkhorns only did 400 damage. But then the Rupture kicked off, and that did 800 damage, I forgot, right? So beautiful damage coming from him with all that little stuff that comes afterwards. Now the Mare armor does not kick off unless he is attacked, so that is one thing to understand here. Now with that, with BERNHARDT being ran and with him running the fusion power, that means our Leon can come in here and absolute shred faces now. So let's go ahead and hit him with this. Now my Leon's on a crit build, so if he crit, it would have done a lot more, but 14,000 damage. Now I am going to have him retreat because this is BERNHARDT showcase, so hopefully BERNHARDT can attack another unit here. Of course the flyer is going to go after my healer. I mean, why not? Okay. So we are going to have BERNHARDT come in here, and hopefully, I'm really hoping this flyer does not go after my Leon, because I know my Leon will truck him. So after you activate all this stuff on Leon, now I do not have Leon's 1000 hooves, I think that's what it's called. But once I get that, he's gonna be monstrous. That was 12,000 damage, and that was without the whole the buff there. Alright, good. He's gonna reflect damage 336. So he is gonna go ahead and attack BERNHARDT. Now BERNHARDT did 5,000 damage there. That was raw damage there, right? Now let's have BERNHARDT go ahead and attack here. And an easy 3,500 damage. Rupture didn't get to kick off, the Darkhorns didn't get to kick off, and his soldiers were dead. So if I was using the undeads, there would be a res there and all that good stuff there. So BERNHARDT is a solid unit, guys. Now do note, he is not going to do as much damage as the boy Leon there, but what he does do is incredible, because the tankiness, the ability to support the whole Empire's honor team, it's just really nice, guys. It's just super nice. And I'm sorry, like I said, showcase wasn't that long because my juggler video was extremely long, so I decided to bring you guys something short and sweet. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And Sammy, this one was for you. Peace out.